Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Simnaya. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So, I am going to say this with every seriousness. That is the problem Black people are facing. Black people are not just facing problem from this and other people. Black people are also facing problem in their own community by some people that do not want to align with their own people, because some people really want to continue to coon. And then what they do is they use the colonial masters stereotype to also come at you. Is he not a fool that will use this person's perspective, the way they see you or the ways they see us as Black people, to come to your own people with the same mentality? But I am going to ask this man that actually came out to talk about this, does he mean that he doesn't know that all these things are happening in his own community? Because some people are going to tell you, as a Black person, do not let a child only see a lawyer only in court, or only see a policeman or a firefighter only in court, or sorry, only at a fire station and all that. Sometimes you people are actually unbelievable. You can actually pass your message to Black people straight up to them without having to use another man's stereotype to stereotype them. Let's get into
5 Black boys tried to steal a Mexican man's car in Durham, North Carolina. And before they could steal it, a bunch of Mexican men chased after them. 4 of them got away, but 1 of them was surrounded and couldn't go anywhere. The young Black kid pleaded with the Mexican men, "Please don't hurt me." And one of the Mexican men said, "We're not going to hurt you." The Black kid said, "Please don't call the cops." And the Mexican man said, "We're not going to call the cops on you neither." Then the Black kid said, "Well, what are you going to do?" And the man said, "I want you to come to my shop tomorrow at 8 o'clock and don't be late." So the Black kid, showed up at his shop the next day, and that Mexican man taught him how to fix and build cars. That Mexican man, he took that Black kid under his wing and taught him for free without expecting anything in return. How do I know this? One day my car was having some trouble, and, I took it to this, car shop, and this young Black kid comes out and he asked me, "What seems to be the problem with your car?" And I told him, this is having an issue, that's having an issue. And he was like, "It sounds like you need this, this, and that." And he went and got the parts and fixed the car within like 10 to 15 minutes. And I was so impressed and shocked, of how young he was with all this information. So I asked him, "How did you get so knowledgeable with fixing cars?" And he told me the story about the Mexican man. I want to ask, where are all the Black mechanics that are willing to take a Black kid under their wing and teach him how to fix cars without expecting something in return? Where are all the Black doctors, out there that are willing to take a Black kid and teach them about medical physiology and biology without expecting something in return? There's so many problems, so much crime in the Black community, but no one is doing anything to stop it. I want all Black mechanics to go look for a Black child to teach how to fix cars. If 1,000 Black mechanics each taught a Black kid how to fix cars, that's 1,000 drug dealers off the street. And the same with Black doctors, the same with Black scientists, with Black historians and investment bankers and police officers. In white communities, I've always seen police officers, I've always seen firefighters in the white community showing the kids, how to work the fire truck, letting them try on the uniform. But in the hood, in the projects, I never seen a Black police officer, you know, doing anything like that. I've never seen a black firefighter doing anything like that for the black community. Only time, you know, these black kids in the community are faced with a police officer, it's when they're in trouble. And you know, some of you may go, that ain't my responsibility. And you know, a lot of people don't like when I compare, you know, the races and stuff like that. A lot of blacks don't like when I compare, you know, blacks to other races, you know, but it's comments like that that make me compare you. Because when it's time for a white man to help white boys, they have no excuses. When it's time for a Mexican man to help Mexican kids, there's no excuses. They just help. They just teach. You know, I want all black doctors to start going to predominantly black schools and neighborhoods, churches, and start inspiring these black kids. You know, they need to see you, and not just when they're sick. Black kids need to start seeing judges, and not just when they're in trouble. And when black people start teaching each other, building businesses, and working together, you know, don't forget about the Mexican men that gave you a chance. Don't forget about the white people who gave you opportunities. Be there for them as well. If you go to the hood, if you go to the projects, you go to Compton, you know, you'll see a bunch of men standing around houses, apartments, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, cursing around a bunch of kids. You know, you're setting a bad example. You're not teaching them anything. You're destroying the black community. But these white and Mexican men, they're teaching their kids, you know, how to build, how to fix things. Instead of standing around houses, instead of, you know, tapping pockets, robbing black kids, you need to be teaching them. Instead of standing around wasting time, you need to be building hospitals, building banks, building grocery stores, research centers, warehouses. And you know, in a black community, there's always an excuse. There's always, you know, you always come up with a problem before you come up with a solution. How are we going to build a warehouse, or how are we going to build a grocery store? But these kind of excuses are not in the white community. These kind of excuses are not in the Mexican community. You know, they find a way and they make it happen. They're not getting any help from the government. They find a way and they make it happen.
This is all I got from this video, and well, I am going to start with him because I feel like his hairlines. Who did that to his forehead? To his. Okay, now I am going to say this. Everybody always look for a way to use black people as an example. You can actually pass your message across, right? I am going to be like really kind and nice. You can pass your message across without looking for a way to bring other people into black problems or into black discussion. Because it's always this comparison. You know, this comparison of a thing, I detest it. I detest it with everything in me. The fact that people would want to talk about some certain things, maybe, or give you, talk about something that is maybe in black community and still look for a way to link it to other people's success or other people's downfall. It's really very disrespectful, and to also disrespectful to you as a human being, because I don't know what you do. But I am going to start with it. How many people have you gone around to call up and tell them this is what I do, right? And I am going to teach you people this. Let me start with him, because they say charity begins at home. How many people has he done that to? You and I know that all these things happen in black community. It's not like it's something that is not happening. It's happening. Black people, sometimes they want to build something, right? Maybe fund is the problem. The fact that people are in a community and still do not understand their community shows how you've not been listening, and shows how incompetent also you are as a human being. If you ask me today, what are the problems maybe black people are facing in America today, I will be able to give you problems that they are facing today. So it is because they say solution to your problem lies in your problem. It is from the problems that they have that you can always look for a solution. Now he has already stereotyped black kids, pocket pickers or thieves. And then when other people call you that, so what do you have to say? Or if I call him a thief because of the way his hairline looks now, or if I call him a prostitute because of the way his hairline is, you people they are going to say, oh, you are stereotyping this person. Can we do better as people? See, some people will be like, there is no community without problem. We all have problems. We all have challenges, right? My own community is not perfect, which we are working so hard to dismantle that the system, most of the system that is stopping black people from doing some certain things or excelling in some certain areas. If you ask him now, he still do not understand all this. But then he is going to come online to chastise his own community and use a white man's stereotype on his own people. And then why did he even have to write that down? Now let me ask you, when people start lying, they write it down because they don't want to forget it. If that was your experience, why do you have to write it down? How did I know? Because I went to, you know what? I am tired because the problem black people are facing are just not only these people and other people. Black people are also facing problem from their own community. I said what I said. Bye for now.